So welcome to another episode of the Vestal Golden Bear video podcast. Actually, this is episode 10. So that's great. We're doing well. With us, really excited, we have Andrew Burlingame. So Andrew Burlingame is the Assistant Director of Facilities and Operations here at Vestal. Is this episode 11 in? Oh my God, Dylan? All right, episode 11, I stand corrected. So Andrew is relatively new to the district, so we wanted to get him on the video podcast, so I'd introduce him to everyone and all our audience and our whole school community. So before we get started, though, just know that this podcast is really about bringing exceptional people out in the front of, hey, here's Vestal. We are a great school community, an awesome school, but there's a lot of people behind the scenes that make that work. And so today we're going to be talking with Andrew Burlingame, who we're really happy to have with us, who's helping making our district the great district that it is. So, Andrew, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Definitely. So, we begin every show by just, hey, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your background and where you're from?
Yeah, so I'm local to the area, born and raised in town of Binghamton, went to Susquehanna Valley schools, graduated from there.
So I just got a connection.
Yeah.
Same thing. I grew up in town of Binghamton, Conklin area, and then awesome. I graduated from Susquehanna Valley also. That's pretty cool.
Great. Yeah. That was where I got started in facilities. Graduated from there, needed a summer job, and started working there for the director of facilities, and really got exposed to all the different aspects that facilities has, really the role that it plays in the school.
Okay.
And it just kind of ignited the interest, and I've been in it ever since.
So when you were a student, you worked there, or after you graduated?
Right after I graduated. Yeah.
Okay. So you worked in the facilities department?
Yep. Yeah. It was a way to get through school, put myself through college, and it ended up actually changing my major from computer security into facilities management. Okay. And that really, I got started there, and it really took off. I worked there for a while, went over to Union Endicott schools for about 5 years. I was there, started as a custodian, kind of worked my way through the progression there. Worked with the maintenance guys over there, got really involved in it.
Yeah.
And here I am.
Yeah.
So
so that's great. So ground floor, you graduate, summer job, looking for some work, and you sign up to work in the summers. It was just summer employment?
Yeah,
or, okay.
Yeah, it was just a summer job.
So out there probably weed whacking and doing that type of thing?
Absolutely.
Right? Okay.
Absolutely.
And you really liked it, going to college, and then you change your major to get into that type of program where you're managing buildings and grounds.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. What a great story.
Yeah.
And so then with that, you said you were working at Union Endicott as a custodian?
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Okay. Worked there as a custodian.
And you became a head custodian, I believe. Right?
Night shift supervisor for a while, into head custodian, got to run a building and really got to see the more visible part of facilities. The head custodians are there during the day with all the students and interacting, and just, the smiling faces and taking care of things during the day, and really enjoyed that. And then moved up to Shenango Valley as the director of facilities, and kind of got to take, almost a step back and away from the direct one-on-one in the school, but really get to move into that big picture and oversee and, make sure that everything's there. Everybody has the stuff that they need to do their jobs, and just really, make sure that everything was there for the students too.
Yeah. That's a big step then, going from head custodian to a director.
Absolutely.
Correct? Yeah.
Absolutely. That was
big learning curve, or was it?
Yeah, it was huge. We had actually, when I started, Shenango Valley was right in the middle of a pretty large capital project. So we'd actually moved elementary schools between buildings, and we were renting a church school that we had to renovate and get ready for the students to occupy for the year. And it was a lot of learning, a lot of good stuff there, and it really, set me up for success here.
Yeah.
So just a lot of, hit the ground running and running fast too.
Yeah. So then it has to be said, so you're assistant director here, or you were director at Shenango Valley.
Yes.
But obviously Shenango Valley is a great district, but it's a smaller district.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we only had about, I say only, but 3 buildings and about 1,300 students.
Right.
So definitely a large step up coming here as the assistant.
Yeah, so we have 7 buildings and 3,300 students or so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so almost 700 staff. So, definitely. So we have a connection there at Shenango Valley. Andy Blaine. So if Andy, if you're listening to this, so Andy was, when I was principal to high school, Andy was an assistant principal there. And eventually he ended up leaving Golden Bear territory and he went to Shenango Valley. And he's I believe, a director of instruction there.
Yeah. Yep.
And so we always bust him like, come on, Andy, how can you leave Vestal? And he's doing great there. Actually, I just saw him the other day and he's doing wonderful and happy for him. But when you applied, we had to do reference checks and everything. So I was talking to about you, and he really did not want you to leave, Yeah. And he said, tell you what, he's great. Andrew's awesome, and we're really happy to have you here. But,
it was definitely a hard decision to leave CV. They really built that family well, but this was just, looked like a great opportunity, and I liked the challenge of, the 7 buildings and 700 staff.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. So going back to the connection with Andy told me something that was really interesting, something about fountain pens. You only like to use fountain pens. What's up with that?
Yeah. I don't know. It kind of started in high school and, through the power of the internet, something that, a hobby that may be very niche to one, turns out that there's huge communities around it. And, there's all these different people that still write with fountain pens. And I really got involved with that. And it was actually funny because shortly after Andy had started at CV, we were up at an administrative retreat and doing, a lot of good work there. And we were sitting across the table from each other and kind of look over and, hey, he's got a fountain pen. And he looks over and noticed the same thing. And, so on the first break, he comes over, he goes, do you write with, and he knew what pen I was using. And he comes over and he goes, oh, is that, I think it was a Twisby pen. And yeah, it is. And so we started talking about that for a little bit. And, the rest of the admin team was like, oh, great, there's 2 of them. So, but that was an awesome connection and, really started a pretty good friendship there, cool. Over something so simple as a pen.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, later in this show, we're going to have to give you a Vestal Golden Bear Pen. And that the expectation is that you used it at Vestal.
Absolutely.
Could you do it?
Absolutely. I think we can. Okay. I think I can. Yeah.
That's great. Awesome. So, coming to Vestal, you've had a chance now to look at all of our buildings and work with some of our staff. So what's your impressions of Vestal Central School District?
It's a great place. The biggest impression, the biggest thing that I've really focused on since being here is just getting to meet as many people as I can, trying to remember names. Yeah, right. And just, it seems like just a great group of people working here. Folks in the maintenance department that have been here for 40 plus years. Yes. That really says something about
and really talented
an employer, any employer, school, anything. But for somebody to come in and really enjoy what they do and want to stay that long, as somebody new coming in, that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
And the skill and talent that, all the guys in, the department have is impressive. They do a really good job maintaining, anything that needs to be, keeping the buildings clean and everything. It's definitely a very dedicated, hardworking staff. Yeah.
We're really fortunate to have them. I mean,
absolutely.
You see the product they turn out is like, wow. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. Fantastic. So also look at so that's the people, then you look at our infrastructure, our buildings. What do you think about looking at buildings? So obviously we have some capital projects with brand new construction that's taking place now. And then we have some our buildings that haven't been touched in a while, but I believe we maintain them really, really well. Yeah. What's your thoughts of us coming into the district and you've been able to walk around, see all our buildings now, and what's your thoughts?
Absolutely. No, things look great. Like you said, there are some buildings that are needing some work, but that, in a district so large, you've got to be able to prioritize and plug away at the most important items, which I think you guys are really doing a good job of. There's, a good plan laid out for, what to improve and on what schedule, because there's only so much funding available to really make those big improvements. But no, the buildings, whether they're, newly renovated or, haven't been, entered in a while, they're, definitely in good shape, definitely taken care of. Definitely. The guys do a good job here.
That's one thing you always, whenever you walk around, you see how nice and clean and well-maintained the buildings are. And you're right, we do have that schedule. And actually, you're sitting on a committee now with our capital project, the next capital project committee. And what do you think of that process going through? I mean, we've looked at, priorities from our building condition surveys, right? We brought in some contractors to talk about different roofing aspects and boilers and security. And how do you think about that?
So I really like the process that you guys use, building such a large team, different stakeholders, maintenance people, teachers, your outside contractors, the administration, to really build, a good team that understands the project, understands the needs, and can speak to it intelligently, because everybody's going to go back to their groups and, what did they talk about at the meeting last night? And, okay, we're getting a roof. That's great, but it's a roof and it's a couple $1 million. It's so expensive and it's just a roof. But that stuff is just, so important and can't be overlooked. And it gives a good perspective to everybody on the committee of, it's just a roof, but it's a very important part of, the whole education system.
Yeah, it really is. Actually, someone on the committee said, we know a roof and they're so expensive and you don't really see the you got a roof up there, but it doesn't really do anything, like not new classrooms or anything like that. And someone said, but if you don't address it and you're sitting in a classroom and it's raining on you,
you're going to notice that.
Yeah, you're going to notice it then. So that was a really neat comment.
Yeah,
so we do have to maintain our roofs, and that's going to be our next capital project. We have to do that with three of our buildings.
And then, the heat and air conditioning, I think that's an awesome project that's going, phasing in more and more air conditioning. That's great.
Yep.
Just, makes it more comfortable for everybody that's here, whether you're learning, teaching, anything.
Right.
So, definitely a good plan and a well-rounded plan too. It's not just one focus on, a complete focus on one building and nothing else is getting addressed.
Right.
You've got to spread it around, and make sure that you address those priorities. But using the building condition survey and that input, anything that might have been missed in the last project, all of that is, I dare say, the perfect way to build a project.
I agree. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thanks for that input. So, we always ask what makes, Vestal great and how do you contribute to that? So you're relatively new. Been a month you've been here?
Yeah, just over 1 day short.
1 day, okay.
Well, a day short. So, what makes Vestal great? I mean, the staff that I've met, like I said, are fantastic. They're in it. They're dedicated. They enjoy what they do. They and more so than that, they understand what they do has a purpose. It's more than just we're cleaning up after the kid. We're cleaning up so that they have a place to learn.
Yes.
And there's more to it than just doing your job.
I always like to say, and I hear that being part of the community and being, going to a lot of different games at high school, basketball games, volleyball games, et cetera, inside, but then also at the stadium. And when you have public come in from the outside and come in and see, from different schools coming to watch their children play, they always, a lot of positive comments of, wow, your facilities are so beautiful here. And that's what, you take pride in that. And you must take pride in that too.
Yeah, to me,
look at this. Vestal is not only we the high academic achieving, school district, but also our infrastructure is well maintained. It looks really nice, and we, like I said, we have those plans in place.
That's huge to the public too, because that's one of the few things that everybody can actually see of a school district. You can see the buses driving down the road. You can see the buildings. You can see if the lawn has been mowed or not. It's really hard, and it's not often that people get to see the actual education process.
Right.
So, when everybody shows up for those games, the after school events, the concerts, that stuff, we give them something to see. And taking pride in that is huge.
It certainly is. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Awesome. Anything else you want to add to the podcast here?
No, I think I'm good. This is all new to me. It was the first podcast I've ever done.
Oh, awesome.
But
So normally, this is our mailbox, our inbox, but we haven't been getting much mail, have we, Dylan? Not a lot. Not email lately. So Dylan came up with this great idea. I know he did this with the FBLA students. I wasn't available during that podcast, so Dylan took that over, and I heard it went really well. Can't wait to see it. But so Dylan came up with this rapid fire game. So you're the first one I get to try this on.
All right.
Ready? You ready for this?
Absolutely.
So basically, the idea is I'm going to read 2 questions. Basically, you have 2 choices, and you just pick real quick, pick one or the other. And it's just a way to get to know you.
All right.
So no wrong answers, no right answers. No one's critiquing it really, but it's just kind of fun.
I'll probably critique it, but
That's okay.
Dylan
That's
may
okay.
critique it. All right. You ready? So the first one is money or free time?
Free time.
Okay. Amusement park or day at the beach?
Ooh, day at the beach.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's actually where we're going tomorrow.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah, we're taking a little vacation
Oh, that's
down
right.
to
You did.
Delaware.
Yes,
so
yes, you are.
day at the
That's
beach, definitely.
That's awesome. Good for you. All right. You're at the movies. Candy or popcorn?
Popcorn.
Me too. Online shopping or shopping in a store?
Ooh, online shopping, and I've really got to work on that habit.
You look at your music bill, Lily. Okay. Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Okay. Phone call or text?
Text.
Apple or
Apple.
Android?
Apple.
Apple, all the way.
Yeah.
The Office or Parks and Rec?
Ooh, Parks and Rec.
Really?
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's okay. Huh. Why?
I do love The Office.
Yeah.
But
That's a tough one. I know. When I read that, like, I don't know.
yeah, I like both
I
of
would've
them.
probably
But
said The
I'd
Office,
probably
though.
got to go Parks and Rec. Yeah.
Okay. Good for you. Hamburger or taco?
Ooh, taco.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I'd go with hamburger. Okay. Last one. Spotify or Apple Music?
Apple Music.
Me too. All right.
All right.
That's awesome. Good job. I probably didn't go as fast as I should have. But
maybe
Is it all
next
right?
time we'll set a timer.
There you go. Set a timer
15
next time.
seconds.
Gotcha. Okay. So now we're kind of concluding our podcast here. I want to thank you for being on the podcast. So
Thank you
for
for
everyone
having
that comes on, we give them a highly coveted
All right.
Vestal Golden Bear pen. And that means you have to use it.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you.
Definitely. And then we conclude with a Stay Golden fist bump.
Absolutely.
Is that Stay Golden?
Stay golden.